I'd like to call this meeting of the Vernon Township Council of January 1st, 2020 for the reorganization meeting to order. Clerk, could you please read the statement?
Adequate notice of this reorganization meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 3rd, 2019, and was posted in the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-7.
Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Statement of determination of the Board of County Canvassers relative to an election held in the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, and State of New Jersey for the election of certain officers for said municipality on the 5th day of November 2019. The said board does determine that at the said election the following officers: Howard L. Burrell, Mayor, 4-year term; Kelly Weller, Township Council, 4-year term; Harry J. Shortway, Township Council, 4-year term, were duly elected to the office and for the term above set forth. I do hereby certify that the foregoing is a true, full, and correct statement of the determination of the Board of Canvassers therein mentioned. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hands on the 12th day of November 2019. Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilmember Weller?
Present.
Councilmember Shortway?
Present.
Councilmember Murphy?
Here.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Here.
Councilmember Orberger?
Here.
We're going to have the swearing in of Mayor Howard Burrell.
On the other side, and that way we have the mics. And Happy New Year, Congressman.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
See you all.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Welcome, my friend. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Wow, that's some crew.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling shorter than usual.
Guys, this is our representative, sir. Two great boys, son and his wife. My daughter Pamela and her husband.
My son Jermaine is his partner. So nice to meet you, son.
Oh, my wife Rita.
Man, off to a good start.
Mayor, we got to talk about this.
Nice Rita.
First strike from the record.
Exactly. We're definitely gonna fix that. Sorry, Reba. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Current Mayor, you mind if I address for a minute? Is that okay?
Of course.
Council President, can I address for 1 minute before we start? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, I just really wanted to say Happy New Year. I am so thrilled to be here. This is a very, very special day for Vernon, for the community. I love coming to Vernon. I come to Vernon a lot. I have an office in Vernon right down the hall. So it's a place we've spent a lot of time working as a community over the last years with the council and your mayor. And really, whether it's dealing with fighting the dirt pile, which I'm very happy we've together made great progress on with so many people in the community and with your council and mayor, and whether it's town halls we've had here or working together on bringing economic development to the community, or on infrastructure, on the trail. It's really skiing. It's such a wonderful place to raise a family and to spend time. And so I'm very, very honored that both the council and the incoming mayor have asked me to be here today with you and to swear them in. So this is it's a tremendous honor, and I'm very grateful. And as we celebrate a new year, as you know, there's a tad bit of division in the country. I don't know if you've read about that. But what's so wonderful about today, and why, as my first stop of the new year, I get to come here, is you've got Democrats and Republicans coming together and putting community and country first, which I believe is what we should always do. And the fact that one of the first calls when I spoke to the outgoing mayor and the incoming mayor hours after the elections, and the incoming council after the elections, what was stressed to me, which I thought was so wonderful, was the fact that you both said the same thing. My first calls were to the outgoing and incoming mayors, talking about how we're going to work together for the people of Vernon. And that's, to me, what it should always be about. So on that note, I want to acknowledge, of course, Councilmember Allberger and Councilmember Van Tessel and Councilmember Shortway and outgoing Council President Murphy, and thank her for her excellent leadership. And also, I'd like to take a second for us all to acknowledge, and if I can ask all the veterans, if there are veterans here, to raise your hand, and just so that we can thank you for your service. And there's some veterans here. Thank you. I'd also like to give an extra round of applause to our law enforcement and firefighters and EMS who are here. Thank you so much for your service. You know, we live in the greatest country in the world. And I'm going to end my remarks and go to swearing in by saying, you know, I entered this year incredibly optimistic about our country, about our community. We're so blessed to live here and to have the freedoms that we have. And we've seen in just the last days overseas those who are continuing to fight every single day to protect our freedom, to protect our democracy. And it doesn't come without a price, and it also doesn't come without hard work. And what's gone on here in Vernon over the last years is really, and why I think it's done so well, is a sign of excellent hard work. And it's just the same way in our state and country. We have to make sure that we focus on what's most important. And I think it is about making sure that we can live in this great country and practice the religion we want and live in the democracy and live in this great democracy and, you know, work to get our taxes down, which I think is very important, and, you know, keep things affordable so people can live here and keep our roads in good shape and our transit in good shape. All those things really matter to having a great country. And we're very, very lucky to have the leadership we have, outgoing and incoming. So with that, I'd like to actually, if it's okay, quote you. When you started running, you said, you announced that our town is at a crossroads, and the direction in which we choose to go will determine if we decline or assume our place as the largest municipality in Sussex County. And I think with your election, it's been pretty clear that you're going to continue to grow and be the largest county in the largest municipality in the county and be a leader. So I think the people have spoken, and they have picked the person who's going to help them grow and continue to grow this great community. So I just want to say congratulations. And the other big footnote here, and I know it's not something that you always talk about, but I think it's a very big deal. The first African-American mayor of Vernon. I think that's a very big deal. And I remember when you said to me, and I think this was during, you know, as you probably know, Dr. Burrell has served our country in many ways. But I remember when, and I'll go through the litany in a second, but I remember very well when you said to me at one of our, we have a committee that the doctor serves on with other veterans to help me select academy members, young people going to serve and go to our military academies. It's a very big deal. We have, you can imagine the number of well-qualified people, young people who apply. It's not an easy assignment. And I remember we're all sitting around the selection committee, and Dr. Burrell looks over and said, talking about unity and saying that when you were running, I think it was your neighbor or someone nearby came up to you and said, and you saw, they walked out, they saw you on the street, and you were running, you thought for sure that he would come out and say he was against you.
Yes.
And you decided, well, because because you just assumed that your neighbor who was walking towards you would, and you were so surprised, and he came to you, I can't tell you how excited I am to vote for you for mayor. And to me, and the fact that you said to me you were so surprised by that, because you understand that what's so great about our country is the fact of how open people are to actually coming together. Yes. and putting country first. So, if you look at the incredible accomplishments of how you've put people first, and Reba, 53 years, is that right? Remember her, 53. Mayor, that's Reba. Yeah. Daughter Pamela and her husband Quentin from Virginia. Yes. Andre and wife Yasmin, right? And 2 sons, Jeremy and Joshua. From South Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yes.
Outside the district, but you can move. And so the highlights are pretty incredible. Dr. Oh, I'm sorry. And Jermaine.
Jermaine is his partner from Bushgill, PA.
Yeah. You also can move. We do much better. Harry's been able to recruit a lot of people from Pennsylvania. Yeah. Right. Welcome. Howard, born and raised in a small southern town in Utica, Mississippi, holds a bachelor's degree in business administration as well as a master's and a doctorate in psychology. Doctor. Upon graduation from Tennessee State University, Howard was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Air Force and was a special agent with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, where he managed the Air Force's drug and alcohol abuse and human relations education programs. Chair of the North Jersey District Water Supply Commission Audit Committee, currently serving as the State of New Jersey's Selective Service System Local Board. I mentioned what he does for the 5th District selection, and the Centenary University Board of Trustees. He's also a life member of the Vietnam Veterans of America. Mayor Burrell's elected experience is second to none. He served in elected positions on the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, the county's governing authority, as you all know, the Vernon Township Board of Education, the Vernon Township Council, the Felician University's Council of Regents, the Board of Trustees for the Newark School of Theology, the Board of Trustees for the Northern New Jersey Veterans Memorial Cemetery, the Board of Trustees for the Sussex County Charter School for Technology, the Board of Trustees at Sussex County Community College, and the Board of Directors for the Center for Prevention and Counseling. He also occasionally likes to go out and watch some football. He was awarded the distinction of being selected as the Gates Ferry Distinguished Visiting Lecturer at Centenary University, received the Felician University's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Award and the NAACP's Presidential Award for a lifetime of service. As a member of the Vernon Board of Education, I had to write all this down because if you thought I was going to remember this, forget it. As a member of the Vernon Board of Education with 3 years as the board president and during a period of tremendous population growth where each kindergarten class was larger than the prior years, Howard was able to manage the school's board budget, resulting in the town being able to build a new primary and middle school buildings and expand the high school. So just with this experience, the person you've hired, who will be mayor, is going to do an incredible job. And I am so proud and honored now to be able to formally swear you in. So now for the good part. Okay, let's get the Bible. Get the Bible if you want. Let's see that. Is that good?
The right hand on the Bible, the left hand on
Right hand on the Bible. Now raise your right. You're supposed to raise your right hand. There you go. Raise your right hand. I, Howard L. Burrell, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States,
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
under
the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm,
I do further solemnly affirm
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully
impartially,
and
justly
perform all the duties
as the mayor of Vernon Township,
as the mayor of Vernon Township
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you so much. I know you're going to speak later, so
Yes, sir.
thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kelly, thank you. Now I am very honored to swear in our next council member, Kelly Weller.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
You're going to be great. You want to bring your husband? Yeah. It's Robert, right?
Yes.
So now we're going to swear Kelly in. She's joined by her husband Robert and daughters Caroline and Madeline, her parents Ann and Jean, who are over there. Hi. Her aunt and uncle Tom and Thea Wilson. Hi. And you want me to, of course, welcome your in-laws, Kim and Bob Weller, and friends Karen Gerber, Sheila and Dave, and Pam and Frank Zumo. They're all here somewhere. So Kelly, as you probably all know, graduated from Vernon High School, a lifelong resident of Vernon Township. She graduated in 1993, which was, by the way, an excellent year to graduate. That's when I graduated. You look much better than I do these days. And went on to Rempo College in Mahwah, a great institution, earning a degree in business management, so ready to do budgets. Kelly works with Corning Optical Communications as a Northeast sales manager and brings 18 years of business experience to Vernon Township Council. Although Councilwoman Weller is new to politics, she's not new to community service. Kelly's been a volunteer coach for Girls on the Run and currently serves on the Board of Recreation Committee. I love that. It's a great organization. As a Recreation Committee member, Kelly has helped bring many great events to the Vernon community, such as the Turkey Trot 5K Run, the Viking Snowshoe, and the Sidewalk Art Festival. Councilwoman Weller, I look forward to hearing about all the contributions you will make to the Vernon Council. I know you'll be addressing everyone, and all you're going to do with your incredible business and recreation experience. Thank you for stepping up into this incredibly important role, and I'm looking forward to swearing you in. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Bible.
Beyond.
You can.
They can say swear if they want.
I know they're letting you say swear if you want to, or they swear or affirm. Do you care? Okay. You want to hold the Bible? Raise your right hand. Put your right hand. Raise your right hand. Okay. Great. I see. Okay. I, Kelly Weller,
I, Kelly Weller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a member of the Vernon Township Council
as a member of the Vernon Township Council
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilwoman. Next, we are honored to swear in Councilmember Harry J. Shortway. Okay. I got them too. Okay. Good to see you. So next we are, as I mentioned, swearing in our outgoing mayor and incoming council member, Harry Shortway, who's been a council member, as you know, in the past, before being mayor. Now, building on what our incoming mayor said about new business and expansion about Vernon, Shortway, I'd like to quote you. You said that Vernon is a, quote, sleeping giant, and it is awakening and will have a ripple effect across the county. So I know that you all working together with our new council members and, of course, with our new mayor and new councilman will do an incredible job continuing to build on all you've built for this great community. Harry is joined here today by his wife of 38 years, Sherry, and Zach, and daughter Kendall and her boyfriend Mike. Councilman Shortway, previously Mayor Shortway, has served his community in so many ways. As a council member, mayor, coach, and teacher. He also has his own farm here in Vernon with cattle and chickens. If you ever need eggs, he offers them. Earning a bachelor degree in criminal justice from Alfred University in 1979. By the way, another of my favorite Republicans, as you know, Tom Reed, also. Did you know that he also went to Alfred as well? Councilmember Shortway began a lifelong love of lacrosse. His passion for the sport, as you know, has led him to being the head coach of the Vernon varsity boys lacrosse team and earned him multiple awards, including the Conference Coach of the Year, the Herald Coach of the Year, and the Ritz Conference Coach of the Year. Councilman Shortway began his career as a law enforcement officer in Ridgewood in 1982. In 1988, he transferred to the West Milford Police Department, where he served until 2003. During his tenure in law enforcement, Councilman Shortway earned 7 Police Valor Awards and 70 letters of commendation. He was awarded the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Police Officer of the Year, Upper Greenwood Lake First Aid Squad Officer of the Year, and the Upper Greenwood Lake Volunteer Fire Department Officer of the Year. As if protecting the community wasn't enough, Harry then began a career as a social studies teacher for Jefferson High School in 2004, and from 2010 to 11 became a council member, and then, as you know, served as mayor until this year from 2016. Harry's vision for 2020 is to continue turning Vernon into a 4-seasons community by connecting the nearby Appalachian Trails to the town center so more bikers and hikers can be near to town, to boost the local economy, and to attract more businesses to Vernon. If you look at what the council and the mayor have done over these last years. Harry has become a very, very close personal friend of mine. I hope that's not going to ruin it for you here. We talk all the time. We've worked together closely. First, when he welcomed me to the borough here and gave me an office, gave our constituents an office to go to every week right down the hall, but also on obviously fighting the dirt pile with the community and getting that, I think, making incredible progress, what you've done with Mountain Creek, how you've really helped bring business into the community and make that such a significant priority, made keeping our air and our water clean such an important priority of yours, and, of course, taking care of so many young people and making sure they've become great athletes. I can't tell you how many places I go where people say, yeah, do you know Coach Shortway? Guy's tough, very tough. And I see a look of fear in their eyes. And as you know, the other Mayor Shortway also is in my district in Midland Park. His dad is also a mayor at the same time. Often confusing. I, on my phone, call the wrong Mayor Shortway. I did it just yesterday, I think, or the day before. It's really an incredible family of service that has given back so much to our community. And I know you're going to continue doing so on the council. And again, I think this, the idea that today you've both asked me to swear you in along with our other new councilwoman, to me, is exactly the kind of spirit that we need to make sure we keep our community strong. And I love the fact that you all are working together so closely. I think that's so important, and that's how our communities succeed. So it is a extra enormous honor to swear you in and to have sworn you in as well. So with that, we're going to take the oath. Excellent. So, I'll help you out here. Should we move over so we're just not in your way? Are you guys okay? Harry's got to look good. I want to make sure. Hard to do. I, Harry J. Shortway.
I, Harry J. Shortway,
Do solemnly swear.
That
I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And to the governments established in the United States.
And in the governments established by the United States.
And in this state.
And in this state.
Under the authority of the people.
Under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm.
I do further solemnly affirm.
That I will faithfully.
That I will faithfully.
Impartially.
Impartially.
And justly.
And justly.
Perform all the duties.
Perform all the duties.
As a member of the Vernon Township Council.
As a member of the Vernon Township Council.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you.
So I'm now honored to be able to swear in our fire chief, right? We're going to swear in several new members, sergeants and deputies. Okay. Do you guys want to come up? Thanks. Thank you so much. So I'm now honored, and I think we all should be particularly grateful for our next group that we're swearing in from the fire department. And as you probably read about, on Christmas Eve, right, it was Christmas Eve, battled 2-hour blaze in the community, saved this incredible, brave group of men and women in the fire department, saved not only the family, but the dog, the family dog, and the presents. I think we'd all agree it's that everyone here in uniform is a definition of a hero. So, Fire Chief Alba, Deputy Chief Thomas Murray, Chief Tom Ferry, and Deputy Chief Scott Semchison, right? I got that? Close?
Good enough. Semchison.
Semchison. I practiced this 10 times, too. Semchison.
Should have been 11.
I know. It's true. That was pretty good. Okay. I walked into that one. Walked into that. That's pretty funny. Okay. So as I said, every single day, these Vernon finest walk into unsafe territory. They put their lives on the line to protect us, to get our backs, and our job is to always get theirs. Fire Chief Alba began as a junior firefighter in 1992 with the Dumont Fire Department. There he rose to the rank of lieutenant. In 2002, Chief Alba moved to Vernon and joined Fire Company Number 1. The chief was a lieutenant for 4 years, a captain for 2 years, and deputy chief for 2 years. After rising through the ranks, Chief Alba has demonstrated what it means to be a fearless leader. Deputy Chief Thomas Murray has been a member of the McAfee Fire Department since 2007. That's 12 years. Deputy Chief Murray has held almost every position that a fire department has, including firefighter, lieutenant, captain, vice president, and president. Deputy Chief works as a professional firefighter for the Summit Fire Department and is a 22-year veteran of that department. He's married with 2 children. Chief Ferry has been a member of the Highland Lakes Fire Department since June 2002, previously serving on the Bergen County Department for 12 years, where he rose to the position of assistant chief before moving to Vernon to raise his family. Tom is joined by his wife Eileen and his 3 daughters, Erin, Christina, and Jolene. Are they all here as well? Excellent. Hi, guys. Deputy Chief Scott, I'm leaving out your last name, is a lifelong Vernon resident. He's been serving as a firefighter for 21 years now. The deputy chief has previously served as chief of the Highland Lakes Fire Department from 2013 to 14 and works at the Vernon Township Department of Public Works, showing his commitment in every single way to our great community. To all of our firefighters here, I just want to thank you again on behalf of everybody in our district and our community for your incredible service, for always taking care of us and always having our backs. And now I'd like to swear you in. So, if you a Bible. You want me to do these as a group, Clint? How do you want me to do it?
You can do them as a
Okay. Yeah. You want somebody hold it and everyone raise their right hand, put your hand on the Bible, I guess, in some way, form. Perfect. Is that okay? I, and then state your name, please. I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
and
to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm
I do further solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties as a member of the Vernon Fire Department
as a member of the Vernon Fire Department
and the Vernon Township
in Vernon Township
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
We will have a short recess.
You'll have a short recess now.
Thank you.
We're ready for incoming mayor's comments.
Thank you so very much. Can you hear me? Yes.
I know there have been times when I've been out there, I just couldn't hardly hear people. First, I want to thank the members of my immediate family for being here with me and for me on this special day. While having so many of you, my dear friends and neighbors, here with me today, makes this a very good day in my life. To be truthful, having my wife and the immediate members of my family here makes this really a great day in my life. Second, I want to thank you, the voters of this special township, for giving me your vote of confidence to lead our town and to actually represent you as your next mayor. This is my commitment to you. In all of my comments and actions, they will be tempered and guided by the constant awareness of the fact that I represent you in our town, and that I need to implement that representation with sound judgment, with effectiveness and efficiency, and with fairness and dignity. I also want to thank the Honorable Josh Gottheimer, our congressman and my friend, for making it a priority to be here in Vernon Township in order to play a key and essential role in my taking the oath of office as Vernon's next mayor. His respect for and the importance that he puts on Vernon Township is noted and is appreciated. Today, January 1st, 2020, marks the end of one decade and the beginning of another. It also marks the beginning of a new chapter in the life and in the history of Vernon Township. And this new chapter begins with this announcement from me. I want the word to go out from this town hall today to friend and foe alike, that to the extent that I, as your mayor, can influence and control it, today marks the beginning of the end of Vernon's long, negative political nightmare. I know you know what I'm talking about. And from this day forward, Vernon Township is open for business. Let the word go out from this town hall to those individuals who are looking for a town that's a great place to live and raise a family. I want them to know that Vernon Township is open for business. Let the word go out from this town hall to those individuals and organizations who are looking for a town where their business can locate and prosper, and where their business will be appreciated as a valuable rateable that can help our town's homeowners pay the tax bill for the operation of an effective and efficient municipal government. I want them to know that Vernon is now open for business. As I start my term as your mayor, I want to leave no doubt that my focus for the next 4 years will be on working with our council. It'll be on working with the town's boards and committees, working with the town's employees, many of who are here today, working with the town's business and civic groups, and working with the town's residents to do the hard but always rewarding work that's required to enable Vernon Township to achieve its leadership position as the largest municipality in Sussex County. As I evaluate the challenges that we face in achieving this objective, it's no secret that one of the key impediments is the various political, social, and personality-based factions that actively and aggressively operate in our town, both in person and on social media platforms. As I have spoken to individuals who are members of some of these factions, I have no doubt that while some have good civic intentions, much of their comments and actions, in fact, have served to keep our town divided and from moving forward. I believe that it's important from the outset that I make it clear to all individuals and factions, including some of those who may have supported me. If for some reason you may have thought that I could be used or that I can be used as some type of stealth weapon to get back at, to humiliate, or to somehow hurt another specific individual or faction, I want to make it clear that you are wrong. I want to allow myself and I want to allow my years as mayor to be used in this negative or divisive faction. I also want to confirm to those who thought that you could trust and believe me when I repeatedly said on the campaign trail that if you gave me your vote of confidence to be your next mayor, that I would do everything that I could to bring this town together and to move our town forward. I want you to know that you were right to trust and believe me. This attitude that I'm expressing of doing what I believe to be in the best interest of the town and not what is in the best interest of a particular individual or faction is reflected in the approach that I've used to making my initial appointments of professionals and members of the various boards, committees, and commissions that provide needed services for our town. First, you will know that at this initial stage of my administration, I have not made a lot of wholesale governmental changes. This is due to two key factors. Factor number one is that my style of management is never to come into an organization like a bull in a china shop and simply wreak havoc on that organization, or to kick people out of their jobs and positions simply because I have the authority to do so. I have learned in life that simply having the authority or being in a position to do something in itself is not always a good, an ethical, or fair, or productive reason to do a particular thing. And factor number two is that I'd like to make up my own mind about the content of the character and the quality of the work of each individual and organization. And the approach that I have taken at this initial stage in my administration gives me the time and opportunity to do just that. As I studied the boards, the committees, and the commissions, I found that some of them have effectively and efficiently used the resources that they have been provided in a way that has served our town well. For individuals serving on boards, committees, and commissions that fall into this category and have requested appointment, I have overall reappointed them. In addition, where needed, I have made additional appointments to make these boards, committees, and commissions even stronger. My review also revealed that there are a few boards, committees, and commissions. For example, the Economic Development Advisory Committee and the Historic Preservation Committee that needed rebuilding, that needed new life. And for boards, committees, and commissions that fall into this category, I have appointed individuals who have not only committed to me that they share my vision for this town, but who have also either have the experience, they have the training, and the work ethic to ensure that the board, committee, or commission to which they have been appointed plays the role that's needed to help me to move Vernon forward. I won't be much longer, but just let me digress for a few minutes to talk directly to the fourth estate. That is our valued press. I have great respect for you as the press and believe that a society cannot be truly free without a free and inquisitive press. And I therefore don't ask or believe that the press should turn a blind eye to legitimate issues for which we in Vernon Township should be held accountable. But what I do ask of these press entities that cover Vernon Township is to please don't let your coverage of our town be unduly influenced by those negative voices and actions of that small number of individuals that represent only a very small fraction of our residents. We are in fact a good town. We're in fact a good community. And I ask that you please cover and report on those events that reflect the fact that Vernon Township is a positive force in the life of Sussex County. Let me close by sharing with you my strong belief and a positive belief that's shared by a growing number of other Vernon citizens. It is a belief that our town has an abundance of much untapped and unreleased potential, and that tapping into and releasing this potential starts with a small or a large group of Vernonites coming together and working to move Vernon forward. Now, I've been accused of being idealistic, And quite frankly, I plead guilty. For I know that every positive thing that humankind has ever done first started in the mind of an idealistic individual. I am also an individual that's constantly motivated by the words of the great American cultural anthropologist, author, and speaker, the late Dr. Margaret Mead. Dr. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of idealistic, thoughtful, and committed citizens can change things. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has." I'm ready to change things in Vernon. I'm ready to start the process of moving Vernon forward. I can't do it by myself, and so I ask that you join me. Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, what I wanted to do is I wanted to welcome our new clerk, Marcy. Marcy was appointed unanimously by the council on December 9th. Welcome her. She started on December 26th. What I would like everyone to do is to remember former Councilmember Dan Katie, who left us this year. And I'd like to thank Patrick Carreri, who's not here today, for filling his seat for the remainder of his term. And I'd also like to thank former Councilmember Sandra Owens for her service. And that's
And we need a motion for that.
motion.
Sorry.
What are your motions?
We'd like to motion to nominate Harry Shortway for council president.
Second.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Councilmember Shortway.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Councilmember Warburger.
Yes.
Motion carries to nominate Councilmember Shortway as council president.
Thank you, council members. I appreciate that. I'd like to call for a nomination for vice president, and I would like to nominate John Allberger. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller.
Yes.
President Shortway.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Councilmember Warburger.
Abstain.
You have it, my friend.
Motion carries.
Congratulations. I'd like now to have incoming council members, which that'll be you right now, if you would like to make a comment.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate
Can everyone
it.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep them brief, but there were a few things I'd like to say. First, of course, I'm so grateful to have Congressman Gottheimer here to swear me in today. That was truly an honor. I'd like to start just by thanking the people of Vernon for putting their faith and their trust in me and voting me onto the town council. My commitment to all of you is to work hard and to do the right thing for the town of Vernon and its residents. I'm truly humbled by the outpouring of support that I have already received in the past few months. I'd also like to thank my family and friends, many of whom are here today, for their continued support throughout the last few months. I know it hasn't been easy, but I thank you. And I'm counting on all of you for your continued support for the next 4 years. I'm sure it's going to be a great ride. Finally, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Burrell for his appointment to mayor. as well as Harry Shortway for his appointment to Town Council and now President of Town Council. I'm looking forward to working with both of you, as well as the rest of the council, Councilwoman Murphy, Councilman Allberger, and Councilman Van Tassel. I believe together we can do great things for the town that we all love. While I know there are going to be topics that we don't always agree on, I look forward to healthy debate, sharing ideas and opinions, and making decisions based on the greater good of the town and the love that we have for the town, not based on any personal agendas. I thank you all again for the opportunity to serve the town that I grew up in and that I love, and I look forward to many great things to come. Thank you.
Incoming council president, that's me. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be that brief. First of all, good afternoon and Happy New Year to all of you. Much appreciation to the voters that put me here. Much appreciation to all of you that are attending. Congratulations to Kelly and Mayor Burrell. And thank you to this council for your service. I also want to thank my family who've been behind me for the last 4 years. And now it's another 4 years, so thank you. So it's an honor to be reelected to public office. Today I start my third term to public office. Constituents have again provided me an opportunity to serve our community. As the former mayor, I understand the challenges of the office and the importance of the governing body, which is this council. It is clear to me the majority support the following, or I would not be seated here. Vernon needs to be a destination where visitors stay overnight and entrepreneurs, business people, want to invest their dollars. Economic sustainability can be achieved by investing in developing recreation amenities and creating a unique agro-art tourism culture in concert with the resorts. My platform is unchanged. A recreation art economic strategy supported by walking, hiking, and biking paths connecting established trails to the resorts, the municipal complex, and the town center. These pathways are in lieu of sidewalks that are absent in the town center. A pump, bike track, and amphitheater to provide activities for residents and guests in the town center. We must also persist in our efforts to identify additional sources of municipal revenue other than taxpayer dollars. And we did this, for example, with the vacant building ordinance. The short-term rental ordinance will provide additional revenue for the municipal services and recreation. I am confident the STR ordinance, with changes suggested by this council and previous members of the council and members of the public, will be introduced and adopted in the near future. Private and public symbiotic partnerships and agreements, as we entered into with Mountain Creek. We should continue our efforts to attract community-friendly developers by going forward with an area in need of redevelopment plan. Continue support for our volunteers. Our revitalized recreation and beautification committees have contributed so much in the last 4 years to this township. The Greenway Action Advisory Committee, dedicated to sustainable New Jersey and the popular farmers and holidays markets, is to be commended. The election results also direct us to continue our efforts to protect the environment, including an environmental commission who addressed issues such as hundreds of railroad ties placed in wetlands and environmentally sensitive areas. And of course, the Silver Spruce landfill, which Congressman Gottheimer calls Waste Mountain. We must also remain steadfast against any party who files a frivolous tort against our community. The following issues restrict our economic growth, and continued effort is demanded for alternative solutions. I am a proponent for the environment. However, as reported by NewJersey.com, New Jersey's Highlands Act costs West Milford taxpayers more than $500,000 a year in lost revenues. West Milford filed a complaint to a state council that seeks to have the law declared unconstitutional. The complaint says
Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act created an unfunded liability because the state legislature failed to appropriate resources to offset the permanent loss of revenue and other hardships that we, West Milford and Jefferson, the largest communities in the Highlands, are experiencing. The state seized developmental rights without due process and compensation under the Highlands Act. Our sewer debt and restricted growth are related to these state mandates. The sewer system and associated debt is the most challenging issue that our community is facing. Vernon was forced to bond millions of dollars, and it's in the area of $40 million, to upgrade the Skooma water treatment plant, where wastewater is processed, then returned to its source aquifer. Yet 380,000 gallons of water flow daily from the Highlands to down below without compensation and is not recharged back into the source hawks, as we were required to do by the New Jersey DEP. We should consider joining West Milford in their efforts. The Highlands Enterprise Zone legislation, which I proposed and is now before the State Senate and Assembly, will provide some relief from the unfairness and unfunded liability caused by the Highlands Act. In the near future, I will put forth a proposal calling for a study into this dilemma, alternative solutions, and this includes the feasibility of the Vernon MUA. Needs to be visited. Regarding meetings, public comment is an absolute necessity in government. Citizens need to be heard and to feel they are taken seriously. They need to be allowed to speak and to get their point across. But there are rules, and I respectfully request that the public play by those rules. Council meetings are not public forums, but meetings for council business conducted in public. Public comment periods will continue as previously held. Should a member of the public present a question, I recommend that council members and or the mayor respond, if reasonable to do so, during their comment section near the conclusion of the meeting, or address the inquiry at the following council meeting during their comments. All comment sections of these meetings are for expressions of opinion and not debate. Vernon voters in 2011 approved a government change to the Faulkner Act, a strong mayor, and it was by, I believe, 7-1. Although I did not support this change, I follow it because the vast majority of voters approved this referendum. The majority provides direction. The strong mayor form of municipal government under the Faulkner Act provides for the direct election of a mayor who serves a 4-year term. This form is designated for a mayor to be independent of council, in charge of the administration of the municipality. The mayor is the chief executive of the municipality and has enforcement responsibility for all ordinances, charter provision, and he prepares, or she, in the future, the budget for the municipality. The mayor has a right to speak at council meetings, but has no vote and does not need to attend. Under this form of government, the council is the legislative body of the municipality. The council is generally limited to legislative functions, but has investigative powers and may remove municipal officers for cause. The mayor, with the advice and consent, and no, it's not silence and dissent, it's advice and consent of the council, appoints and removes department heads. If a council member decides not to give consent, its advice and reasons for rejection of a mayoral appointment is subject to review by the court. Rejection must be rational and may be part of the record. The standard of review by the court is determined if the council member's rejection of the mayor's appointment was arbitrary, capricious, or unreasonable. Should any of my council peers or the mayor request an item be placed on the council meeting agenda, I will do so. It does not mean that I will move the respective motion or second it or affirm the vote in affirmation. All members of this council and the mayor should have the opportunity to present legislation or other items for discussion in public. Mayor Burrell's election signifies that the public desires the infighting between mayor and council stop. And I hope you notice where the mayor is now seated. He is up on the dais. new decade, new time for this township. And I think this shows right away this council believes in that. And we are going to work with you, Mayor Burrell. And Mayor Burrell, while in public, I pledge that I will work with you. If the occasion arises that I do not agree and intend to provide consent, I will give advance notice in an effort to open the door for discussion, hopefully leading to a consensus or compromise, but you will know where I stand. And if my vote is nay, I will state my reasons for the record leading to my dissent. I believe these measures will provide checks and balances in a legal, respectful, and cordial manner. And finally, I am highly confident that this governing body and mayor can work together for the betterment of our community, Vernon Township. Again, I want to thank my family for all you've done. Happy New Year. Thank you. Moving on, I would like a motion, please, to open the floor for public comment.
Motion.
Second.
Does anybody wish to speak? And if you do, just raise your hand, come up, state your name for the record, please, and where you live in township or where you live. And you have 3 minutes to express your opinion on agenda items at all at this time. Does anybody care to do so? Not seeing any hands from our public, may I have a motion to close public comments?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so be it. Let's move on to the consent agenda. I'll read by title. Resolutions 20-1 through 20-34 are various different township contracts and ministerial items. Resolution 20-1, appointment of business administrator. Resolution 20-02, designation of official newspaper for 2020. Resolution 20-03, designating meeting dates of the Township Council for the 2020 calendar year. Resolution 20-04, resolution to adopt a cash management plan for 2020. Resolution 20-05, reauthorizing petty cash funds for calendar year 2020. Resolution 20-06, establishing interest rates for delinquent property taxes and assessments. Resolution 20-07, authorizing the municipal tax assessor and the special municipal attorney to defend the township before the Sussex County Board of Taxation for tax appeals. Resolution 20-08, appointment of public agency compliance officer. Resolution 20-09, appointing township business administrator as ADA coordinator. Resolution 20-10, authorizing signatures of township checks pursuant to New Jersey SA 40A:5-6. Resolution 20-11, appointments of special police officers, Class 2, Scott Wallach, Roy Weary. Class 1, Jim Vett, Mike Sauer, Doug Vince. Resolution 20-12, authorizing stipend for 2020 transcription services in an amount not to exceed $3,000. Resolution 20-13, authorizing the renewal contract for 2020 recording secretary for the Land Use Board in the amount not to exceed $3,000. Resolution 20-14, authorizing a memorandum of agreement with Signature Information Solutions for inquiry only, access to certain tax collectors, tax and/or utility records via Vital Communications. Resolution 20-15, authorizing a memorandum of agreement with Accurate Abstracts for inquiry only, access to certain tax collectors, tax and/or utility records via Vital Communications. Resolution 20-16, authorizing a memorandum of agreement with Valtech Research for inquiry only, access to certain tax collectors' tax and/or utility records by Vital Communications. Resolution 20-17, authorizing a memorandum of agreement with Action Title Research for inquiry only, access to certain tax collectors' tax and/or utility records by Vital Communications. Resolution 20-18, authorizing a memorandum agreement with Priority Search Services, LLC, for inquiry only, access to certain tax collectors' tax and/or utility records by Vital Communications. Resolution 20-19, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Vernon, County of Sussex, and State of New Jersey, appointing Deputy Custodian of Records. Resolution 20-20, authorizing alternative prosecutor. Resolution 20-21, continuation of the Beautification Committee. Resolution 20-22, continuation of the Greenway Action Advisory Committee. Resolution 20-23, continuation of the Economic Development Committee. Resolution 20-24, authorizing renewal of a contract for maintaining township website. Resolution 20-25, authorizing the award of contract for 2020 alternate court attendant for the municipal court in the amount not to exceed $500. Resolution 20-26, authorizing the award of a contract for 2020 between A&E Clothing and the Township of Vernon to locate clothing donation bins at the Municipal Recycling Center. Resolution 20-27, authorizing an agreement for 2020 between the Township of Vernon and Spatial Data Logic for geologic software support. Resolution 20-28, appointment of members to Municipal Land Use Board. Resolution 20-29, authorizing transfer of funds. Resolution 20-30, resolution appointing risk management consultant. Resolution 20-31, resolution appointing fund commissioner. Resolution 20-32, authorizing a contract with Munidex to maintain the township's vital statistics software for 2020. Resolution 20-33, authorizing amendment to personnel manual. Resolution 20-34, authorizing UAW contract amendment. May I have a motion to adopt resolutions 20-01 through 20-34?
Excuse me, but I have a question on Resolution 20-33. That particular resolution, is this something that is effective like last year? Were the supervisors, were they receiving this last year?
Yes.
They were. Okay. I just wanted to actually check to make sure that that was in fact happening. So, okay.
You good?
Yep.
Thank you. We have a motion?
Motion.
We have second?
Second.
Paul?
Councilmember
Roll
Weller?
call.
Roll call.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Aldberger?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, resolutions requiring separate action. Resolution 20-35, appointment of fire marshal. This resolution appoints Lou Tosto as the township's fire marshal for 2020. May I have a motion to approve resolution 20-35?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Aldberger?
Yes.
Resolution 20-36, adoption of the 2020 temporary municipal budget. This resolution approves the adoption of the 2020 temporary budget. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-36?
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger?
Yes.
Motion carries. Appointment of Chief Finance Officer. This resolution appoints Donnell Bright as the Chief Financial Officer to a 4-year term for the township. May I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a question on this. Because the chief financial officer had a prior term, does this 4-year term, do they receive tenure with this? Because I know that some of the laws are a little...
I have to check the law to see if this gives her tenure or not. I don't have an answer off the top of my head.
Okay. That answers my question.
We have the motion. We have a second, correct?
I didn't hear a second.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
We have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
No.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger?
Abstain.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Resolution 20-38, appointment of tax collector and designation as of tax research officer. This resolution appoints Lisa Kimkowski as the township's tax collector and tax search officer for a 4-year term. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-38?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. So we have John as the, okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations. Resolution 20-39, authorizing the award of the contract for professional services. This resolution approves the award of contract for the township special attorneys, auditor, bond counsel, prosecutor, public defender, engineer, planner, and water operator for 2020. I just want to make an announcement here, and council, if you would tell me the best way to proceed. With Agra Water, Agra Environmental, one of the owners is Mike Fury. Mike Fury is a longtime personal friend of mine, and I want to be perfectly transparent. I don't want any perceived conflicts of interest, so this is why I'm saying this. We may have to go on with the resolution, but separate that, and I'll recuse myself. So Mike Fury has also supported me in all my runs for office since 2009. He's coached my kids in basketball over 20 years ago. But of lately, he was a key ally in our fight against the Silver Spruce landfill. At one point, he tested water, and it came out with lead. And that really provided a spark for us and finally get the DEP involved. Mike did not charge the town. And I don't want anybody to later say, hey, that's a quid pro quo. So I want to make that perfectly clear to the public, and I will recuse myself on that contract. But can we go forward with the other contracts? And then the council so wants to make a separate resolution. I will leave the room and recuse myself on that contract.
Question I just have on the one is the auditor. Is it, we have Bud Jones as our auditor because I know Bill Schroeder retired, and Bud did show up at one of the meetings to say that we were getting him. So we have Bud Jones. Just wanted to.
Okay. That's correct, right, Mr. Mayor? It's going to be Bud
Yep.
Jones?
Yes.
Bud Jones.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
So can we have a motion with Agra Environmental being removed on all the other ones, all the professional contracts? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger?
Yes.
So that motion will carry. What I will do now is, let me see, I'm going to recuse myself, leave the room. John, I'm going to change, the reins are over to you in case there's any discussion. Already. And then you can get me when you're done in case there's discussion and after the vote. Thank you.
All right, is there a motion for Resolution 20-39?
Motion. Well, you're just for the auditor.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, for the, Agra.
Environmental.
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. Is there a
I'll
motion?
make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Sure. Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm sorry, motion does carry.
All right.
Thank you for your understanding. Appreciate it. Okay, if I didn't lose my trend here, we're on 20-40, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Authorizing contract with Microsystems, NJ, LLC for the year 2020. This resolution authorizes a contract with Microsystems, New Jersey, LLC for tax assessment services for 2020. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-40?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, so we have Mark is made the motion. Roll call, please.
Sure. Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel,
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Resolution 20-41, authorizing award of professional services for qualified purchasing agent. This resolution authorizes the award of a contract to Sean Canning of the Canning Group, LLC, as the township's qualified purchasing agent for 2020. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-41?
Motion.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 20-42, granting authority for approval of certain purchases through New Jersey state contracts and/or purchasing cooperative for 2020. This resolution grants authority for approval of certain purchases through New Jersey state contracts and/or purchasing cooperative for 2020. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-42?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Did you, never mind. Okay.
We good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Sure. Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel,
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 20-43, authorizing the award of a contract with LawSoft to maintain and service the Township's Police Department computer-aided dispatch CAD system at the Police Department for 2020. This resolution authorizes the award of a contract with LawSoft for the Police Department's computer-aided dispatch system for 2020. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-43?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, good. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 20-44, the appointment of Director of Public Works. This resolution appoints Edward Babcock as the Township's Director of Public Works for 2020. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-44?
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller,
Yes.
Council President Shortway,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy,
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Yes.
Vice President Ogberger.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 20-44, appointment of Director of Community Affairs. This resolution appoints Michelle Downton as the Township's Director of Community Affairs for 2020.
You said 44.
45.
It's 45.
It's 45, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 20-45?
Motion.
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Yes. Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Augberger?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Introduction, first reading of proposed ordinances. Ordinance 20-01, calendar year 2020 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank as a New Jersey SA, column 40A, 4-45.14. This ordinance establishes the cap bank or COLA ordinance for 2020. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 20-01 with a public hearing to be held on January 13th, 2020?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Augberger?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, I understand emergency management coordinator. Do we need a resolution that? It's just a mayoral appointment. That would be Ken Clark.
Mayoral appointment.
Mayoral appointment, okay. Mayoral appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Do we need a resolution on that, or it's just mayoral appointments,
Mayoral
correct?
appointments.
Environmental Commission, Board of Recreation, Historic Preservation Commission, Beautification Committee, Economic Development Advisory Committee, Greenway Action Advisory Committee, Senior Citizen Board.
Is the mayor reading the list?
You going to read?
It's my understanding I need to read these names into record, right? I need to read them. Okay. I'll be brief, and I've got to read these names into the record. So if I mispronounce someone's name, if I don't pronounce the way, please kind of forgive me. First, the Emergency Management Coordinator, Ken Clark. The Environmental Commission. This commission had 2 of its seats to become vacant this year. I decided to reappoint Mrs. Angela Erickson to a new 3-year term ending in December 2022, and to appoint Mrs. Margaret Peg DeStassi to a 3-year term, also ending in December 2022. The Board of Recreation. In my view, the performance of this board has been simply outstanding. The term of new council member Mrs. Kelly Weller and the term of Mrs. Heather LeBance ended in December, and I have reappointed both to new 3-year terms that end in December 2022. The Historic Preservation Commission. This was a commission that was all but dysfunctional last year. In fact, their most recent meeting minutes are dated September 2018. To give this commission life, I appointed 8 new members to meet the collective requirements of being knowledgeable, in building design and construction, and have demonstrated a strong interest in local history. These 8 members are architect Mr. Sean Mazar, who I am appointing to a Class A unexpired term ending in December 2021. Former council member Mr. Dick Wetzel, who I am appointing to a Class B unexpired term ending in December 2020. Mr. Will Brown, who I am appointing to a new Class B 4-year term ending in 2023. Vernon Historical Society President Mrs. Jessie Palladini, who I am appointing to a new Class B 4-year term ending in December 2023. Mrs. D. Franklin, who I am appointing to a Class C unexpired term ending in December 2020. Mrs. Ann Ross, who I am appointing to a Class C unexpired term ending in December 2021. Mrs. Barbara Kostinko, who I am appointing as alternate number 1 with an unexpired term ending in December 2020. And Mrs. Nancy Adams, who I am appointing as alternate number 2 with a 2-year term ending in December 2021. The Beautification Committee. This is a committee that has maximized the value of the resources that the town has provided them, and has in fact used these resources to enhance the appearance of our town in so many ways. It actually makes me feel good and proud as a Vernon resident when I see this committee's floor displays as I enter town on Route 515, of when I observed the floor displays at the entryway of our beautiful Maple Grange Park. All of the terms of this committee were one-year terms, and I have reappointed the 5 members who requested reappointment. These members are Mrs. Chris Petronzo, Mrs. Mary Ellen Bezzacanti, Mrs. Ellen Meixner, Mrs. Joyce Bringsinger, and Mrs. Kelly Mitchell. In addition, I appointed 2 new members, Mrs. Reba Burrell and Mrs. Stephanie Salingo. All have been appointed to one-year terms. The Economic Development Advisory Committee. This is another committee that is in need of desperate new life. Its last reported meetings, believe it or not, go back to June 2015, more than 4 years ago. In my administration, this will be a very important committee. I will depend on this committee to encourage, to promote, and to assist business growth and business retention for the long-term economic life and health of our town. To jumpstart this committee, I have appointed 5 individuals who collectively have the expertise, experience, the extensive experience in the planning, organizing, developing, coordinating, and controlling functions that are vital to business development and growth. These 5 individuals are former Vernon Mayor, Mrs. Sally Rinker, former Vernon Board of Education President, Mr. Ed DeYoung, Mrs. Jennifer Lubliner, Mr. Elmer Platts, Mr. Ron Williams, and Mr. John Chesky. They have all been appointed to one-year terms. The Senior Citizen Committee. This committee of outstanding senior citizens has actually done a fantastic job of promoting the welfare of Vernon's senior citizen community. And I have reappointed all 7 members to another one-year term. These members are Mrs. Leighton Brigman, Mrs. Gloria Freito, Mrs. Krista Gary, Mrs. Nancy Goulden, Mrs. Josephine Prisco, Mrs. Susan Pushtray, and Mrs. Marianne Taransky. And finally, the Greenway Action Advisory Committee. This is a special ad hoc committee which advises the mayor on matters of sustainability, passive recreation, and economics within the town. I have appointed all 8 of these outstanding civic servants to new one-year terms, and they are Mrs. Cheryl Shortway, Mr. Michael Fury, Ms. Tony Chili, Mr. Craig Williams, Mr. Paul Kearney, Mr. Joe Assist, and Mr. Mike Chesney. And as they say in the cartoons, that's all, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Excuse me. What I would like to do is make a motion from the floor to appoint John Allberger as the council representative for the Land Use Board.
I'll second that.
And I do make that appointment. I mean, you make the
That's
recommendation?
ours.
Yeah, okay, all right.
That one's actually ours.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So it's a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Councilmember Weller?
Yes.
Council President Shortway?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Van Tassel?
Yes.
Vice President Allberger?
Abstain.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on. Public comment section. You may speak about anything at this point. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. State your name and where you reside at. Greatly appreciated. Please raise your hand if you wish to be recognized and come up to the podium and express your opinion. Is there anyone who wants to come forward? Okay, seeing no one, may I have a motion to close public
Motion.
comments?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Good. Thank you. They are closed. Okay, Volunteer Ambulance Corps, I believe these are also read by the mayor into record.
I've got to read these into the record also, huh?
I need some help here.
The ambulance squad officers are elected by the membership, and they are for the Glenwood Pochuck Volunteer Ambulance Corporation, Chief of Operations Officer Captain Kevin Duffy, First Lieutenant Sharon Scully, Second Lieutenant Matthew Crum, Sergeant Zachary Epwright, I believe. the Vernon Township Ambulance Squad, Chief Peggy Warnett, Assistant Chief, which is to be announced later, Lieutenant Rob Haley, President Mike Emmerich, and Treasurer Andrea Kukula. Those are the members, Mr. Chair, Mr. President.
Thank you. Let's move forward to council comments. Ms. Murphy, do you want to start?
Certainly. Just wanted to make a comment about ordinances and introduction as you went into that, because I think a few years ago what happened is the introduction of ordinances are made public to the public. So what happens if there's an ordinance on the agenda, as we've mentioned to the public time and time again, that does not mean that the council is for or against it, but the council cannot discuss it unless we are here as a body. So if there's an ordinance that's on the agenda, which has happened at many times, some of the public or different organizations will come. They'll be angry because they believe that it's a done deal. But what in fact is happening is you're never giving the council the time to actually have that discussion that needs to take place. So oftentimes it may get carried. A lot of confusion comes up because of that, because you're not giving the council the time to conduct the business. Comments are welcome, which is in the beginning of the meeting when you have on agenda items. If you have a question on something that's being proposed, that's great, because there are things that are missed. There are laws that change, different communities that are affected, so the input is welcome. But because the ordinances have been released to the public, it actually ends up giving the public more power, which is great. But again, the council needs that time to be able to have that discussion. And that's something that residents need to keep in mind, because it's, in the past, again, it's created a lot of confusion. And I don't think I need to add that Facebook does not help. One of the other comments I have is on the historic preservation and all of the committees. Any of these meeting minutes and all, they're all handled through administration, not the clerk's office. When the committees have their minutes, or they're turning in their agendas or what have you, that all goes to administration, not to the clerk's office in the past. So again, oftentimes if minutes aren't posted or submitted, the clerk, this is how it has been. Like I said, minutes from these committees have been turned into administration, and now it's just whether or not that's something that you may want to speak to your office about and see how that will be handled, because the last thing the clerk needs are numerous calls from members just trying to, so it's best if it's really figured out in the beginning of how that's being handled. And somebody needs to monitor, because if a committee is not, some of the ad hoc committees, I'm not even sure that they have to keep minutes, they can keep notes. So there is a difference between that. And I know I'm sure people will disagree. It's okay, it's happened before. But it's just something that needs to be addressed so there's no confusion once again. Lastly, I welcome your extensive speech, along with some of your appointments. Might I add, they're your appointments. You do with them as you may. But I will say that I have been, even up until December 9th, I have endured the criticism. I have endured a couple members of the public, to the extent of them making false accusations of me committing crimes, which are documented. Those are the things. So when you ask residents of this town to comply and to follow your wishes, you also have to understand how deep-rooted some of these issues became. I'm not on social media. but often I am, a subject of social media. So like I said, when you're actually, as mayor, coming up with these things, you may want to take that into consideration. I have no further comment.
Mr. Van Tassel?
I have no comment.
None of you about the Sussex County
Nope.
hockey team or at the Vernon hockey
They
team?
won their 4th Sussex Cup.
Yes.
Wish everybody a happy and healthy New Year. There's my comments.
Thank you.
All right.
They did a great thing. We got to call them out for it.
I have no further comments. Just Happy New Year to everyone.
I look forward to working with the new mayor and this council and moving forward. We have a lot to do. We have 2 fire tankers that should have been replaced. You have the football field coming up to be replaced. And we just need to keep moving the town forward. And that's it.
I think we need a hockey rink.
I do too.
How could I guess? In conclusion, I'll be brief. We're going to adopt a we can do attitude, and we're going to work together, and we're going to get things done for you and ourselves. So I welcome everybody. Have a great, happy New Year. I wish you all the very best. Everybody up here, I wish the very best. Thank you. So may I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
3rd.
Can I say all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.